Hello, my name is Rosa. Welcome to Only Fails. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
So what has been your experience with failure?
My experience with failure is failing the bar exam twice in the state of Idaho. I sat for the bar exam for the first time last July. I graduated and took it. I sat for that bar exam immediately, and it was a big failure, and I wasn't able to pass by a few points, and that felt like kind of the end of the world. Of course, it wasn't. So I decided to retake it this February, and I sat for that bar exam. Unfortunately, I was not able to pass for my penmanship on the ME portion of the bar exam this time. I was able to pass the multiple choice section with a pretty high score. However, the Idaho State Bar didn't think that my penmanship would allow me to pass, and so I wasn't one of the people on the list of successful bar takers. Unfortunately, for my life, that actually means a lot because I am a single mother. I grew up in a very poor immigrant family, and so I didn't have the resources that I would have liked to study for the bar exam, and I still do not have the resources, but luckily I've encountered a lot of support from my community, and people that love me are helping me out, and I also do some things here and there to take care of myself and my child. Failure can feel like it's the end of the world, and I can assure you it's not. Failure is only this one moment in your life, and it's a way that we can gain strength, and we have that reserve of strength. So going back to like a story of David and Goliath, if you remember that story from childhood, right, where you feel like this little person after that failure, you feel like you're weak. However, next time you encounter something difficult, or you go on in life, you gain this reserve of strength, and you feel powerful, and you feel like you can take on anything. So I encourage people to embrace their failure, embrace every single failure, because that is what makes you stronger. And next time that you feel like you can't make it through this, I remember the story of David and Goliath. Like, you have been through so much, and you've gained that strength that you can take on anything, regardless of how difficult it feels. Even if it feels like, for me, it means not being able to practice in the state of Idaho, or unfortunately, it's been really, really hard on my mental health, on my life, on my son. I, have spent hours and hours studying only for my penmanship to not get me past. And that does feel like an injustice, but we will be strong, and we will carry forth and not dwell on the past, because like I said, you have, after every failure, you gain more strength, and you have that reserve to continue and go forth.
You failed because of penmanship at the very beginning?
No, the first time I took the bar exam last July, I was off due to different errors that I committed, right? Like my organization, or not knowing the rules in depth well enough, and not writing logically because I was stressed out or nervous, unfortunately. And I was able to practice and practice for 6 months after July. I dedicated about 40 to 60 hours to preparing myself for the February bar. And I had to handwrite because the bar examiners charge $125 to use our own computer, which for a lot of students feels like a lot after we've already paid, hundreds of dollars just to take the bar exam. And so me, not feeling like I wanted to spend and not having those resources readily available to me, I decided to handwrite. And the graders, were able to read parts and bits and pieces of my essay responses, but weren't able to read others. And unfortunately, my world kind of seemed like it was over on the date and time that results came out, and my name wasn't on that list. And it's unfortunate that my penmanship was the determining factor and why I'm in this crisis again of, okay, well, I have to prepare once more and I have to spend all this money and I need help because I'm a single mother. And, I come off a little desperate, but that's, hey, like single moms, that's what we have to do, unfortunately, sometimes to get us places and get our dreams accomplished.
So when you take it again, are you going to use the computer or are you going for penmanship again?
So, I told one of my friends, told them like, this is what happened. And they felt so bad for me that they paid it for me.
Nice.
So, I'll have a computer this time that I can rely on also. And, but yeah, I think it should, unfortunately it works this way and it seems very unfair. And, it's hard to deal with this type of failure where it feels like it wasn't all my, not all on me. It wasn't everything, that I had done wrong or, knowing that it was more of a, error with my handwriting. It's hard to deal with that. It's hard to deal with that failure mentally and emotionally, but we do that.
But you've worked to try to improve your penmanship, right?
Yeah, I did work on my penmanship for a month before I took the bar exam this time in preparation. But of course, I don't know, I've read online that nobody can write legibly for a whole 3 to 6 hours. They have to mess up eventually because their hand gets tired.
Yeah.
And so that makes me think a little bit. I'm curious as to how attorneys that before computers, people that handwrite all the time, did okay, and people could read because nobody can write legibly for 3 to 6 hours.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
It is, yeah. No, it's impossible to write legibly for that long.
So what drew you into wanting to be an attorney?
I first wanted to be an attorney when I was small, and my mom, encouraged me to look into that career because she felt like I was pretty good at school. I was great at grades, and my grades were excellent, and I was a pretty good student, and she believed that I could, and so I decided that I would.
So she encouraged you?
Yeah, she encouraged me, and of course, I had, now as an older adult, I have a lot of passion for defending people, and that's what I want to do.
You want to defend people as an attorney?
Yes.
So criminal law?
Yes, I would like to be a public defender.
Nice. I don't know how many people want to go into that field.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that are very passionate about, helping others and defending others when they're in a hard spot. I'm a very big advocate of second chances. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has messed up and done something that was either out of just not being very wise or, sometimes we make mistakes, bad ones that hurt ourselves, hurt our families, and we hurt others. I think everyone does that. It's part of human nature. Humankind has not been perfect, and we know this. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping others, because I know what it's like to be alone in something, not be able to afford an attorney. Public defenders do their work for very little. Nobody can afford private defense attorneys. Like, it's very expensive. Public defense is something that, yes, you do have to be very passionate about and should be very passionate about if that is what you're working in. And because it is, you're basically serving someone that is poor.
Yeah. So how was law school?
Law school was very, very difficult for me. I come from, like I mentioned earlier, a very poor immigrant family. I'm a first generation student at all levels. I was a first gen for my undergrad, first to go to a four-year university, and then first to go on to higher than that 4-year degree. So I felt like it was very, very difficult to quickly grasp the culture and the mannerisms of law school and attorneys. And it felt, now looking back on it, a lot of it was just not being around that environment growing up. Being in an informal environment versus being in a formal environment like that is very drastically different. So that was one of the hard aspects. I was the only, I think, single mom in my class, I can say, at my campus specifically. And I was also, I think, the first or the only Latina in my class at my beginning of my first year of law school. And there might have been like one or two others out there, but yeah, it was very lonely, very isolating. I felt like there was a lot of things that were out of my control, and I didn't fit in. There was a lot of people that had the groups that they stuck with, or it just kind of felt like people that were similar would really stick to each other and support each other. And if you were kind of outside of that, if you were different, then you were definitely an outsider, and you had, as a result of that, you had less support or opportunities even from faculty, unfortunately.
Academically, was law school difficult?
Academically, law school is very grueling. You are constantly in class. If you're not in classes, then you are studying. If you're not studying, you're preparing for the next day in some capacity. Writing, legal research. So it's a grueling experience that takes over your whole life. You might be lucky to get a workout and grab a drink with a friend if that's what you like to do. You might be lucky to have a significant other that you have a close relationship to during law school. I got divorced during law school, and many couples break up during law school for the same reason, that law school and law can take up your whole life.
So it strained your relationship?
It strained, it strained my relationship, and it was, I had no time for anything else.
How many hours a week did it require?
I'd say classes and studying were like a full-time job. So maybe people were studying 40 to 60 hours. That's including class time though. But yeah, it's a lot of hours. Yeah.
If someone out there is watching this video and thinking about attending law school, what would you tell them?
I guess my message for people is different depending on who they are, but right. I think generally I would encourage people, especially if you're passionate about a different area of the law, right? It doesn't have to be for criminal justice or a more just society like my passion is, but whatever area of the law, if you know what you want, go do that, and do your best, give it your all, and that's what it's about, and bettering yourself and being the best you can be and learning as much as you can. I would give a different message to other students that maybe are more similar to me. So I have that general message, and then I have a more specific message to people that maybe don't come from a family that's had college education or have encouraged their kids to go to school or be a lawyer. Being a lawyer was something so insane for my family to wrap their head around, especially on my dad's side. I recall one of my aunts saying, "You can't do that," and encouraging me to go and do something else with my life, because being a lawyer is not for us, or being a lawyer is too hard, or this or that. And yes, it was hard. It was excruciating, and to add different factors in on top of the grueling schedule, such as my background of being poor, coming from a poor background, being a single mother, being of a completely different ethnic group than most of my classmates, and being very lonely, and oftentimes facing adversity just for who I was. I would say you should especially do that for yourself. You are worthy, and you are strong, and you deserve to follow your dreams or your goals, and you owe that to yourself. And I'd encourage people to not do it for the fancy degree and like the fancy suit you're gonna wear and this or that, but do it for yourself and for the people that you're gonna represent, because there's probably a need for that. And if you come from a different background, you especially should attend law school. But prepare for it. Prepare ahead of time, please. Just do it, right? If you don't feel like you belong in those types of spaces, if you don't think that you have enough money or resources, if you don't think that you're smart enough, if you don't think that you're able to work that hard or whatever, but you want to be a lawyer, right? Prepare for it years in advance if you can. Take out loans, talk to family members, friends that can be supportive through it. But I don't want to discourage people. If anything, I want to clarify that no, I don't want to discourage people by bringing these things up, but I do want to make people aware, because I didn't have knowledge of how much it would put me through, right? Like, I kind of felt like I was being thrown around all the time with okay, now there's this fee, now there's that fee, and now there's rent, and now there's my kids' fees, and so yeah, just make sure that you prepare for it. But of course, even if you feel like it's not for you, that you don't belong there, or your parents aren't college educated, like, that's especially why you should do it, because you deserve to have that goal of yours that you have in your mind and your dreams, and you are worthy of achieving those goals.
That's a good message, and that's good advice. Thank you for sharing your story. This takes courage and bravery, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you.